Hello, friends. Call me Atheist here. Thank you for tuning in today. If you like my content, please like, share, and you can subscribe. This will help my channel to grow. Today, I want to talk about God, and I've got a guest with me. His name is Sri. I will let him introduce himself. Hello, Sri. How are you?
I'm good.
Do you want to introduce yourself, or like when I say introduction, I mean which
Okay,
God
okay.
do you believe in?
Well, I'm a law student currently,
Mhm.
and I'm a Hindu by faith.
You're a
And
Hindu.
yes, I'm a Hindu. And since there are various schools in Hinduism,
Mhm.
so personally, even I am confused on what should I believe in and what should I not. Since there are conflicting schools in Hinduism about God,
Okay.
including Charvak, who was essentially an atheist. So
Mhm.
I mutually respect, uh, at least now, different schools, and I try to listen to what their philosophy is.
Oh, I see. So, to start with, I just want to know, do you believe in a God?
Yes, my personal experiences have led me to believe in a God.
Okay. And do you want to share your experience? Why do you believe in a God?
Yes, basically, I went to a country called as Nepal,
Mm-hmm.
and in Nepal, the form of Hinduism that is prevalent is Tantric Hinduism and Tantric Buddhism, that is Vajrayana Buddhism
Mm-hmm.
and Shaktite Buddhism.
Okay.
So the temple worships and the rituals they are different from what we have in North India and
Mm-hmm.
even in South India, that is Bhakti Hinduism.
Okay.
So I went to a Devi temple,
Mm-hmm.
and I am very well aware that there are psychological tricks involved in various rituals and uh, what they call as miracles. But
Mm-hmm.
what I saw, I could not believe my eyes.
Okay.
There was a in India. I am a vegetarian personally, so I do not support any Bali Pratha or anything. However, in that temple,
Mm-hmm.
there was animal sacrifices. There were animal sacrifices, and a
Okay.
hen, a chicken was being sacrificed.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a healthy chicken.
Mm-hmm.
The priest bought it, and he placed it on a rock. So he
Okay.
did not cut it. There was a specific day wherein they did not actually cut the animal. He only placed it on a stone.
Okay.
After he placed it, suddenly the bird, it went unconscious.
Oh,
So I
wow.
was surprised. So I
Mm.
asked him. There was a brick nearby. There was construction going on. So I
Mm-hmm.
asked him that what happens if you place that bird on a brick.
Mm-hmm.
He did it, and this time the chicken didn't go unconscious, and there was no special pressure he applied on the chicken. He was holding it normally from the legs. So I
Okay.
was surprised that if you place it on this rock, it goes unconscious. If
Mm-hmm.
you place it on a stick, it doesn't go unconscious.
Oh, I
And I
see.
asked him, what will you do with the chicken? So he said that after a while, he will regain his energy, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe after a few days, he will be sacrificed again.
So when
That
you
was
say
surprising.
sacrifice, like put it on the brick again or cut the chicken?
So that was a specific day wherein they do not actually cut, so he only put it. But
Okay.
normally they would have cut the chicken.
Okay. I see. That's a very interesting example. And what in that example led you to believe in God?
See, I'm very well aware that sometimes some psychological tricks are used. In my native hometown, there are bears that come to temples, but they may be socialized animals. I know that, but
Mhm.
this I could not find an explanation about, and that is why I'm forced to believe that this was definitely what can be called as a legit miracle.
Mhm. So,
And
so when you say you digged into it, like what research did you do?
could you repeat, please? Pardon me.
So, you mentioned that you saw there was a chicken, they put it on the rock,
Yes, yes,
and the
yes,
chicken
yes.
went unconscious, right?
Yes.
So, did you do any further research? Like, how is it possible when somebody put a chicken on the rock and then it went unconscious? Like,
Yes, yes, yes. I
so,
did I did some research. So in Bihar, there's a temple wherein they do the same thing with what we call as a goat.
mhm,
So what they do is they forcefully, you know, kind of. forcefully put it on the ground. So the scientific explanation for that was that out of shock or out of fear, the
Mhm.
animal goes unconscious. However, in this case, he was normally holding it by legs and he did not smash it on the rock. He
Mhm.
normally placed it, and he did it the same way, exactly the same way on a brick.
Mhm.
And this time, it did not go unconscious. So I genuinely feel that there was something strange about the incident.
Mhm.
Is why I have this belief that there is some spiritual power, or
Mhm.
the
Okay.
tantric rituals have something divine or miraculous about them.
Mhm. Do you
Another incident was yes, yes.
sorry, go ahead, man. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, okay. Another incident was that there was a Shakti beat in Kathmandu.
Mhm.
It was a very beautiful place. The carvings were very beautiful. There was a gold statue of some Nepalese king there.
Mhm.
Everything was beautiful, beautiful carvings. Normally when I go to a temple, it feels welcoming. However, when I went to that Devi temple, it was again tantric temple, wherein the deity was a fierce form of goddess.
Mhm.
So for some reason it felt awful. It was not like some sacrifice was going on there. It was a normal temple,
Mhm.
normal flowers and everything. However, the atmosphere was very awful, and
Okay.
I felt fear in my heart when I moved to that temple. And
Mhm.
everything else was normal except for that the form of the goddess was a fierce form.
Mhm.
Normally also I go to the Kali temples in my hometown, but it doesn't feel like that. It was something strange about that temple.
Mhm.
And it was a temple who has the patronage of royal family, so it was a very well built, very well maintained temple. But even after that, I cannot explain how I feel it. It was kind of a fear that I felt. That
Yep.
again was something strange.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that experience, man. So we've got two experiences now, which
Yes,
makes you believe that there is something supernatural, and
yes,
that could be a god.
that could be a god.
Okay, cool. So, just in regards to the chicken, have you heard of hypnosis?
Yes, yes, I heard of it.
Cool. So, I'm not saying that that priest hypnotized the
Mhm,
chicken, but
mhm,
there are some videos on YouTube. One is a channel called WATOP, We Are Top, and
mhm.
that guy has shown. It's in English, and that guy has shown a chicken being hypnotized, and he showed a few things. I like watching animal videos and stuff, so there is a lot of amazing things that you can see. So I'm
Yes,
not saying that that priest hypnotized it. I'm just saying there may be another explanation, right?
yes, it
But
is possible.
yeah, yeah, that's exactly it. And I'm glad you acknowledged it, so thanks for that.
Yes,
And what I want to say is, even if the chicken is hypnotized, even if the priest did something to the chicken or put it on the rock and the chicken was just stand still or unconscious, um, how does it lead to a god? Before we talk about it, can I just ask you, what according to you is a god?
yes. According to me, I believe in the philosophy of natura naturae, that is, the whole universe itself is God. And that is
Okay.
reflected in the philosophy of Vedanta, that is Advait,
Mm-hmm.
which means there's non-duality between uh, organisms and beings and God Himself. That means that if I leave behind the seven deadly sins, such as lust or anger or materialism of mind, then I will be able to join that consciousness that is ever present throughout the universe, and that, according to me, is God. And that is the simplest explanation that I can get, and I believe in this explanation.
Okay. Let me rephrase it so I understand what you're saying. So you're saying that God is the universe, or some,
Yes,
sorry. So God is a universe and there is some sort of consciousness, and which has created everything. Is that correct?
now I will. Even I am confused about it. What I
Okay.
believe is that universe may have started on its own.
Mhm.
However, as the consciousness of the organisms it grew,
Mhm.
maybe it got interconnected, or maybe it got collected in a geometric way, in such a way that everything got interrelated, and that is why, that is the reason that there is a saying that yat sharire tat brahmande, which means that what is inside is also outside, which means the whole universe is arranged in such a way, and the whole elements of the universe, the nature and divinity of the universe are also present inside the human body, such that if I concentrate on my inside, I
Mhm.
will be able to uh, you know like invoke the same powers, or not the power, the nature which is present in the cosmos.
Okay. Um, yeah, that's good thing. Thanks for explaining. What my question would be though, so you say universe may have started on its own, and then somehow the organisms got interconnected. Now, just to be clear, we only know about Earth, that there is
Yes,
life on Earth,
yes, yes,
right? We don't know anywhere else that there is life, or at least we haven't found out that yet.
yes, yes,
So when we talk about Earth, Earth has been like for 4.5 billion years, or could be longer or less. I'm not a
yes.
scientist, so I don't really know for sure. But what I've read about it, and then the things worked on Earth. There was a lot of moon smashed or any other asteroid smashed on Earth and made the Earth, and it cooled down, and then there was life on it, like single organisms, and that was
Okay.
there for million of years before the complex life form evolves, like fish or whoever the early organisms were in the water, and then they came to land. What I want to ask is, when do you think God came into being?
Well, there is a very beautiful prasang in Srimad Bhagavatam, that why does God have only four hands if we consider Vishnu as a god? Why does God have only four hands and two legs? Why
Mhm,
doesn't he take the form of a mammoth? Because it will be like, for survival, it would have been better. A mammoth would have been much powerful than a four-handed man. So why doesn't he take that form? So the prasang goes like that. The
mhm,
rishis, they
mhm,
discuss that the four arms and the two legs are only so that it fits in the human perception, and God need not take any humanly form, or multi-headed or four-handed forms. It is
mhm.
only because it fits into the human perceptions, and rishis are able to decipher what the God is and what is the nature of God. And for the same purpose, he takes the incarnations of God, so that he could uh, tell about his personality to the devotees, which normally they wouldn't be able to understand.
Yeah,
So I think
sorry,
that,
sorry to interrupt, Shri. I don't like interrupting, but I think my question was different. My question
yes,
was, when do you
so that,
think God came into being?
yes,
Was
I'm
it
coming to that.
after? Okay, cool.
So I
So,
think that God may not be a human form to come into existence, or may not be a human or a organic form which follows time to come into existence. I Just as I said before, I believe that the whole universe was God, and even before the universe was there, there was definitely energy. We scientifically know that. So maybe that could be called as God, and maybe God was ever present.
yeah, so you're kind of contradicting your statement. So first you said you think the God is the whole universe, right? And then
Yes,
you said that it may have been a universe before, and then
yes,
God came into being. So these are two contradictory statements. One is God is a universe, so it kind of implies it's been there forever, or
yes, yes,
at the very start. But when you say
yes.
that God could have come into being later, um,
Hmm.
it's it's contradictory. You see where I'm trying to get it?
What I'm trying to say is, again, I will reiterate one of the philosophies of Hinduism.
Mhm,
One school of thought, it says that the dormant form of universe, wherein there was no existence, it was Shiva.
mhm,
Shiva, Sadhguru has translated Shiva as nothing. So when there was nothing, the form of Brahma which existed, it is named as Shiva. And when there was existence, the form of Brahma which existed, it was named as Vishnu. Now, what is the difference between Shiva and Vishnu is that, only for understanding that the existence has started of the universe, we have named it as different entities. In reality, they are the same. So God may God may exist today as a form of ever-present universe, but before the universe was not born, or maybe what we call as Big Bang did not happen. Even then, that energy may have been present, and that has been called as Shiva, as per my understanding.
Okay, so at the moment, the Big Bang is the single most reliable theory which
Yes,
is there, right?
yes, yes,
Whereas the Hindu philosophy is just known to Hindu people. And as you can tell on Earth, the biggest religion is Christianity. And then the second
yes.
religion is Islam or
Yes.
Muslim. And then there is Hinduism. So there is just a few people that,
Mm,
well, relatively comparing, not few people, I'm sure there's a lot of Hindu people,
mm.
but there's few people that believed in that. And so what I'm trying to get at is I care about the truth, you know, and if I
Yes,
don't know something, I say I don't know.
yes.
So when I try not to use the word it could have been, it may have been, you know,
True, true.
you can guess on things, but those things can be challenged. So I kind of want to believe in scientific theories. So people explain things how it happens in a
Yes.
scientific way. And with science, what happens is somebody says, what if this is possible? There's a hypothesis that Earth is round, right? But when
Mm-hmm.
this hypothesis would have came into being in the very start, because people never saw a round Earth. So when somebody said the Earth could have been round, they
True,
had to
true.
prove it. Nowadays, everybody knows Earth is round, right? Apart from flat
Yes.
Earth people. But what I'm saying is, when the scientist or somebody said the Earth could be round, they had to prove it that it is not the case, because this
Yes.
is what science does. They say this is what we present, and then
Mm.
everybody else tries to falsify it, which means they want to prove it wrong. But if
Wrong.
you can never prove it wrong, what happens is that is called a theory, which is almost a fact. They'd
Yes.
still call it a theory because if somebody comes up with a better evidence, then
Mm.
that theory will be cancelled, and then there'll be other things. So you can make refinements. Same thing with gravity, right?
Yes.
We know gravity is there, and we can see its impact and predict accordingly. With philosophies, though, you can call, okay, I'm using this word universe and I'm using this word God. My
Mm.
thing is, if we already have the word universe and we can explain things better. By the way, there is two words, it's universe and cosmos. The difference is universe is the observable universe that we know exists, or we kind of have seen it through the telescope. And then there is cosmos, which is things including universe and the things which we have not seen. But if there is already a word universe, why say it's a god? I mean, to explain it and to make stories out of it and to comfort people. I see that that could be the case, right? Like there is somebody who takes care of us and who has created in a way that we can live on this planet today. But truthfully, do we know it is the case? So I like to know on things which are true. Yes, it is uncomfortable. I grew up as a Hindu as well, so I haven't read any of the Hindu Vedas and stuff, and your knowledge of that would be larger than my knowledge if you have read it.
No, I have a
Uh,
limited knowledge myself.
yeah, because I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't really read any of the things, but I used to believe in a god before I even know there was a books about Hinduism, right? Because that's
Yes.
what your parents teach you, and this is the way it goes. I do have an emotional connection with Hinduism. So it was really hard for me to change, and call myself an atheist. But the thing now I'm curious about is, if I know the true things, right? Why should I believe in a God? Because
Well, I
it,
will like to interrupt you just a bit.
sure, man.
You do sound like our foreign minister. So
I hope I'm not a foreign minister.
do you realize it? You speak like him, exactly like him.
Okay. I haven't heard. I don't even know who's our foreign minister. Is that
S.
I'm
Jaishankar.
that
S.
dumb?
Jaishankar.
Sorry,
S. Jaishankar.
S. Shankar.
Well,
I should read about him. I should hear his lectures and see how he sounds like. Is it a good
he
thing or
sounds
a bad thing? I sound like him.
no. It's very beautiful words that he use, and you use the same tone, and I like it. The way you
Oh,
say sorry, it was exactly like he says. So if you are foreign minister, just to let you know, I'm a huge fan.
oh, thanks, man. I think you got muted.
So
Oh
let's
yeah.
continue.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing is I want to believe in true things. And the problem that occurs these days is there are different philosophies. In India, we have Hinduism,
Yes.
um, Christianity, Muslim, Sikh, Jainism, Buddhism, and all that. They all have different philosophies. They all have things which people follow, and a large amount of people follow. I don't know if you understand Hindi or not, but I've made YouTube series about harms of religion, and in
Hmm.
that I observed what things are, and I tried to put it, all my thoughts into like a video and put it out there because I wanted to do it basically because when I become an atheist, I didn't know anyone in India was doing it. And then when I went
Yes.
on Twitter, I've know few atheist Indians. um I digress. The point I was trying to make is there is so many different philosophies and they conflict with each other.
Yes.
And from my perspective, everybody is right in some way, not in the belief of God, but whatever they think. But if you do not have a belief of God when you make any decisions, then you can easily find who is wrong and who is right. Because most of the time what happen is people say this Hindu has hurt this Muslim, or this Muslim has hurt Hindu. They don't take it
Yes.
as like this person has hurt the other person and the other person has hurt this person. If you just eliminate Hindu and Muslim from there, there is no Hindu and Muslim, then you can
Yes.
easily tell who was wrong. But now what happens is if there is Hindus or you put things on Twitter, it just becomes rampant. Everybody tries to attack each other. And then I've seen like some of the things people say are absurd. And to be honest, I actually liked that you came across and you wanted to talk about this, which was good because I am looking for people who can respectfully talk to me. You've risen your hand. Sorry, do you want to say something?
Yes, I would like to add to it
Mhm.
that the reason that I try to believe in Hinduism is not only religious but also political in nature. It
Mhm.
also goes like that because it justifies my morality. When I think about it, the reason we require a religion is also to fix morality. In law, we study that when there's suppose a law, substantial law, it
Mhm.
does require a procedural law to be implemented. For
Okay.
example, I set huge moral uh, constraints on human society that this is right and this is wrong. There will be no following of those morals if there is no religious sanction behind it. There's no concept of hell or heaven behind it to make sure that people follow that. So for that reason, religion is required. Secondly, the the basis of India as a state, as a country, and as a nation. There's a difference between nation and a state, wherein state is a political entity,
Okay.
but a nation is not only a political entity, but it has a shared value and culture.
Okay.
The basis of India can be said to be the dharmic culture, that is Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, and their shared culture
Mhm.
and the basic values.
Yeah.
For that reason, I try to bend myself towards these philosophies to respect them and to know how am I how do they uh, kind of affect my life, and what are they trying to say essentially. Because what is the relation between me and a Tamil or a Telugu or a person in Jammu and Kashmir is that the single commonality we have after so many differences, just linguistics and maybe race also, is that we follow the same philosophy. If he's a Hindu, Buddhist, or a Jain, even in Islamic faith, due to shared culture and transfer of our beliefs through centuries, some values have been transferred, and that is why to study these philosophies, which are basically that of plural society of debate and discourse, that is the basis of our nation as a whole. That is why I would like to study them more, and that is why I like to follow them.
So,
Now, regarding
so when you say follow them, you mean follow just the Hindu's philosophy or Muslim philosophy as well?
the basic philosophy on which the Hinduism is based on, see, some of it can be true, some of it cannot be true. As you talked about theories, the theories in physics and mathematics, they can be in black and white. Either a theory is right or either a theory is wrong. They could be mathematically proved wrong. People can write papers about it, but the same does not
There is
follow
a,
on.
sorry, man, there is a third thing which is called I don't know, because some of the theories somebody can think whatever, and then we cannot test it for now.
We cannot.
Yeah, so in that case, it could be I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that is at the minimum in the subjects of mathematics and science. However, the area of gray, that is between black and white, which cannot be
Okay.
proved wrong, which cannot be proved right either. That is the more that occupies maximum part of philosophy as well as history.
Yeah.
There are 2 points which are factual, and there can be multiple ways through which we can join those lines, and some of it can be wrong, some of it can be right. However, no one would be able to prove which one was right or which one was wrong. Same happens with history. There can be two events, and people can have multiple theories about it. Somebody would say that Alexander, he willfully went away from India while he was attacking, while some other person may point out that maybe due to the strength of other Indian empires, he was forced to go away. There can be multiple perceptions about it. Now, about if I follow only Hinduism or Islam, or if I try to study other religions as well, the basic philosophy of Hinduism is based on debate and discourse. And I have this surety, my personal surety, that when the religious texts were being written, actually even they did not know who or how the god should be or what the god is. Because there's a mantra in Rigved called as, there's a sukta in Rigved called as Nasadiya Sutra. They start by discussing that what is God and who would be knowing about it. So they say that maybe the great rishis know about it. In the end, they add maybe not. Then they follow. Then they again continue it that maybe the devatas would know about it, and then they add maybe not. And thereafter they say that maybe the creator himself would know about it, and in the end they add what is the guarantee. So that is how they have evolved all this. And throughout history, we have had multiple schools of thought, such as Advait. Advait, just as I said, that it believes that there is non-duality. But at the same time, exists a conflicting school of thought called as Dvait, which says that God is a different entity and humans are a different entity, and one cannot reach the level of God. Same philosophy is followed in Abrahamic religions, wherein they consider God to be a some super entity which cannot be attained. Godlyhood cannot be attained by humans. Then there is a philosophy of Vishishtadvait. There's philosophy. There are multiple philosophies like that. Someone would someone would say that one should be vegetarian. Whereas when I visited Nepal, people were Hindus were drinking liquor and eating meat and sacrificing animals.
I can
So
tell
there
you,
exists.
my friend who are Hindus, and they pray in the morning and the evening. They have liquor, and then they have chicken or whichever meat. So
No,
yeah.
it was not that they were anti-religious. Even in temples, there were sacrifices, and liquor
No,
was being offered to.
I'm not calling them anti-religious. I'm just saying that my friends who are Hindus, and I think in Hinduism they say don't eat meat, but I have friends who drink alcohol and meat.
No. What I'm saying is not because they personally choose to eat liquor and meat. It is the religion that tells them to eat meat and
Oh, I see.
consume liquor.
Yeah, sorry, I
There are
missed
different
this.
conflicting sects in
Yeah.
Hinduism also. which
Mhm.
religiously tell them to sacrifice animals and to drink liquor.
Oh, I see.
So that was the variety that I thought. So the basic philosophy or the basis of the religion was based on discussion and personal liberty. That was a plural thought, wherein Mahavira could come and he would not be persecuted. Unlike the Abrahamic sects, wherein they have been fighting for Jerusalem. In
Mhm.
India, Mahavir and Lord Buddha and Lord Ram, the various followers of them in the various schools of thought, they have coexisted, and this is the basis of our nation, that we have existed like that. So the problem with Abrahamic religions is that I have no problem in accepting what they say, but the problem with the three religions is that there's a supremacy clause that they sect what they say it is the only truth, and it is the only truth that can lead to salvation, and everything else will not
Yeah,
work.
yeah,
However, in
yeah. I'm aware of that.
yes, yes,
And I see I see what you're trying to say, and I agree with you that they have this problem. But since it's a very big topic, I just like to narrow it down to what we were talking about.
yes.
And otherwise, this conversation will go in so many different
Same
tangents.
for eternity.
We'll be here all night, and then it's just gonna be yeah. But thanks for mentioning that. You mentioned about the gray area, right?
Yes,
And you mentioned that you're studying law. Is that correct?
yes.
So in law, I am aware that anecdotal evidence is not a good evidence. In what
You
I
could,
mean by anecdotal evidence, for if somebody who might listen later don't know, is the if a person gives a testimony that I know who is the thief or a culprit, then that evidence isn't considered very high. They need to have other proof in
yes,
law, right? And the
yes,
law says innocent until proven guilty, which means you're trying to prove the other person guilty. And if you don't have sufficient evidence, then that person is innocent, right?
yes.
Cool. So with the gray area, I will tie this up. I think so. In the
Hmm.
gray area, what happens? What is a good position to be in, according to you? If I don't know if it is true, then I will hold my belief. So I don't believe in God. That doesn't mean that I'm not open to the idea that there is a God. If somebody
Yes.
can give me sufficient evidence that
Hmm.
there is a God, right, then I will believe it. But if somebody says that I think there is a God, you know, then or it's got books written about it, or it's got mantras and enchants and all that, and that applies to all the religions because every religion have their own book,
Yes, yes.
book slash books. So my thing is, until it's proved that there is a God, I will reserve my judgment that there is a God, and I will
Yes.
do the things which are beneficial for me, right?
I agree.
And
I agree.
and then the and that's why I call myself an atheist. Atheist is not that God does not exist. It is a
Hmm.
rejection of a claim that God exists, right? So
Yes.
I'm actually looking for people to talk to me or tell me, and that's why I mentioned in my channel and well as well that I am a skeptic. So if somebody says here's a proof of a God and it's a concrete proof, I have to believe in it. It's I would not have a choice, right? And then I will
Yes.
say, okay, I believe in a God. I'm no longer an atheist. I'm a theist. There are other problems that comes after it. Is like the God that is mentioned sometimes. Do I actually follow that God? Sure, that God, if it exists, can kill me in an
Hmm.
instant. But then again, is it a moral God or a non-moral God, right? So this is my
That's a good
position at the
question.
moment is, and the reason I hold this, and the benefit of holding this position for according to me is that
Hmm.
I'm looking at other people for what they are. If somebody hits someone, right, I'm not looking
Yes.
at the person as a Hindu has hit, a Muslim has hit, or a Sikh has hit it. I'm just saying this person is doing protest peacefully. The other people came and tried to get them off. They could have whatever reasons, but what I say is, this is what the story is. So I can easily tell who is at fault. And because I don't believe in the God, or because I do believe in a religion because I know it exists. The religion exists, but the religions believe that there's a God. So what I'm looking at is this person is at fault, and we should give this culprit some prison time or jail time or whatever, because they've done something wrong, right? So there should be consequences of doing something wrong. And I don't care if that's a Muslim or a Hindu or a Sikh or whoever is doing wrong should be given the prison or jail time. So this is where I stand at. A lot of the people, I'm sure if you've heard on like in Ram Navami, there were a few
Mhm.
people who went out the mosque and then they were playing rude songs against Muslims and then dancing out. There was a
Yes.
video going around on Twitter. Now, I just seen that video. I just think if you go out at somebody's temple and
Yes.
then
Yes.
play rude songs and then do whatever, it's a wrong thing to do, right? And then there were people who were saying in Karnataka, I think it was, that the schools are saying girls aren't allowed to wear burqa, right?
Hmm.
I think that is a wrong thing. If a girl herself does want to wear whatever, she should be allowed to wear whatever. It is not my business to tell a woman what to wear, right? And if the girl does not want to wear a burqa, the Muslim or the Islam shouldn't tell the girl to wear a burqa, right? So it should be, people should be allowed to do whatever. I should be allowed to do whatever within reasons. Like I shouldn't be allowed to go out and kill someone or, hit someone or whatever. So
Yes.
I should be allowed to be happy. I can wear whatever. I can talk about freedom of speech, right? And all that stuff.
Well, can I reply?
Sorry.
Can I reply?
Yeah, yeah, sure, man. I go off on a tangent, so feel free to interrupt me.
Yes. 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 So regarding the first question,
Mhm,
if I am allowed to go before a mosque, well, I too have seen those videos.
mhm.
And regarding the first three stone pelting incidents, what I have noticed is that there were no songs. Secondly, even if there were songs, the heat of the moment can be spontaneous, aggression can be spontaneous, but how can you justify the fact that the stone which were lying on the roofs, that collection cannot be spontaneous? I mean, if I feel aggrieved by some slogans or by some songs, I could not throw stones merely by the reason that I do not have them in my homes. In my home, and I do not carry any stones in my roof. Secondly, to go before a
I
mosque on a
think,
rally, but
sorry,
yes,
man.
yes.
I think we are talking about different videos.
Well, in the first three popular videos which erupted, including Jahangir Puri, there was no rally initially, and maybe after that, as a kind of deterrent, maybe people took it out. It may have been possible, but initially, the initial rallies they did not had those aggressive songs.
Mhm.
But even if there were songs, I mean that how can it be allowed to throw stones merely by the reason that the song is being played?
Oh
That
yeah,
is
I
a
totally agree. The people should not throw stones if
yes,
that's
that is a
what, yeah, if that's what you're saying. What I'm
yes,
saying
yes,
is, whoever is doing wrong,
yes. They
we can easily tell who is wrong when you remove the label Hindu or Muslim.
yes,
So,
absolutely.
I totally agree with you, man. I don't believe in violence. I I really don't want to have a violent personality or any violence I see. I'm totally against it. And whatever you're
Yes,
saying, if somebody's carrying stones with them, I totally agree, man. Nobody should carry stones. They may have pre-planned. Although I don't haven't watched that video, but what you're saying, I can easily tell that this is not right. Even if somebody is
yes.
playing rude songs, I don't know how to solve it, to be honest.
When even I am confused about it. But one thing is certain for me that this point that a Hindu, you did not see this point, but other people have argued this point that a Hindu or a Hindu procession must not enter an area wherein Muslims are dominant. Muslims are dominant in the number game.
Mhm.
It is the Article 19 that guarantees my freedom of movement. So I
Yeah.
could take a religious procession anywhere I want,
Mhm.
not inside a property, that would be trespassing, but on a road I can definitely take it out. And no one should be offended by the mere fact that there's a procession. No one can argue that there is a procession and it should not be allowed in a Muslim dominated area.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if there's a public road, the word public means anyone can go there.
Yes.
So no, I totally agree, man. Whatever you're saying. So w- again, my position being, I just reject the claim that there is a God. And what I wanna, well, I guess I've said most of what I wanted to say. And what you said, it makes sense to me. And I'm actually happy that you're actually confused about things, because being confused means that you're thinking about things,
It allows
right?
me to think,
Yeah,
to be confused.
yeah, exactly. And coming from where I come, I was when somebody, so the reason I changed, and I've put it in the video as well, short version of it is, somebody asked me, why do you believe in a God? The reasons I came up with for myself, because I thought about it, why do I believe in a God? The reasons I came up with were absurd. Like, I believe in a God because my parents tell me to. I should believe what my parents say, but we all know that our parents aren't always right. If I become a
Yes.
parent in the future, or if somebody else is a parent, they know they are telling their children lies sometimes, just because they can, and children believe it. So it's all good. But holding that belief is not right, according to me, because, as I said, if we hold something bad belief, like if I say I believe in Santa Claus that exists, you know,
Hmm.
I can do some things misleading, right? If I believe that Joker from Batman exists and he is my god or whatever, then I can perform bad things, because what Joker says is just to kill everyone or whatever, or make a
Yes.
mess of society. So that's where I come at. But if I look at the reality, like, I should not go out and punch somebody, because what if they punch me again, right? I'm thinking about the well-being of people. So if I want to be happy in a society where there is no thieves, no murders, nobody's hurting somebody, then I have to behave like that as well, and I have to do things according to others as well. Say, I might like to have a lot of money, but then again, I can't go out in a bank and steal it. I have to earn it. So that's my thing is. And yeah, there are a lot of philosophies. I'm just trying to find which one is right. And as I said, I want to believe in a truth, unless somebody give me a better reason. So it has been great talking to you, man.
Well, I feel the same way.
Hmm.
And the more I talk to you, the more my belief that you are Professor, not Professor, Dr. S. Shankar, it increases. Maybe you
Yeah,
are.
no, and I will read about Mr. Shankar and see how is. I'm not a professor or anything. It's just, before putting my channel, I thought about these things a lot. And when you're thinking about things, you can justify your logical things in your mind. But when you put it on a paper, then you can actually see,
Mm.
oh, this is crap. Whatever I wrote on a paper, this doesn't make sense. So that gave me an idea. How about if I try and do a YouTube channel? And well, it'll help me learn something new for starters. And the other thing is, maybe I will reach to more people who are confused. Or maybe there is a God and I just happen to not know about it. And then they can come back to me and prove me wrong, which is completely fine, because I am not right all the time. And that's the thing. You should always strive to learn. And talking to a budding lawyer, um, you always have to think about the gray areas, but then in the end, when the things come to it, you have to go on one side or the other.
Yes.
And for that, you probably need more evidence and stuff. And that's all I'm asking. I'm not saying that, I just need, I don't believe in God because I'm angry at God, because I don't even think
Hmm.
it exists. I'm just saying that, well, I don't believe in it because I haven't seen it or haven't seen something unusual. And go look at the video about chickens hypnotizing on YouTube. I think you can just Google it or YouTube it. It'll,
I did saw it.
yeah. So maybe it'll help. Hypnosis, I thought, it was just magic or mumbo jumbo.
Yes.
But when I saw my friend, when I was on the well, I've been hypnotized before. And when I saw my friend doing something amazing when he was hypnotized, it was just awesome. So our brain is very complicated and it can make us do a lot of things. And brains, there is a brain in chicken. It's just, as you say, psychological tricks. So
Yes.
if you study more about it, what I'm saying is, instead of linking my reasons to God, I will encourage you to find as many reasons to not link it to a God. And when you can never find a reason, and you think God is the only reason, research on why God is the reason, and maybe it'll help you reach the truth. uh, that's what I did, and that's why I try to think of a normal explanations, and hopefully that helps.
Yes, you are correct. What I believe is that this is an endless, ambiguous topic to discuss, and there
Mhm.
is no end to this debate. Well, since the basic question of if God exists, it cannot be answered since it is mostly philosophy.
Mhm.
Philosophy cannot be drawn into equations and to be proved right or wrong.
Yeah.
The basic question of it God exists or not, it cannot be yet answered by me or
Yeah.
by most of the people. So it is a continuous process. One may change, one may not change.
Yeah, true.
I
um
believe.
yeah, it's just an endless question, and according to science, science cannot prove that there is no God, because according to science they need to see something to really research on it. But because
Yes,
nobody can see it or feel it, or somebody says it's out of time and space, then something is out of time and space. A, how do you know it is true? B, I can't see anything to really prove it. And it's not just
yes,
equations. There's a lot more tests and stuff. That's why I really like to watch like scientific things and stuff. They do say that even gravity is not 100%, because what science does is, this is our best explanation and it is most likely a fact. But if there is a future evidence it is not, then they switch. It's highly unlikely it's going to be proven wrong, but still
yes, yes.
scientists are open to this phenomenon. So yeah, I mean, we're going on tangents now, so I think we might end it
Mm.
and perhaps come with a different topic within religion if you want to talk about it. uh, Perhaps morality, and I'll give it a little more thought on morality, and then we can
Well,
talk.
I would like to just give an example
Mhm.
about this ambiguity in the gray area.
Mhm.
When I was reading Article 14, there are two concepts: equity and equality.
Mhm.
Equality says that everyone should be given equal chance and equal opportunity,
Mhm.
whereas equity says that the oppressed people or who have been historically oppressed, they should be given a pedestal, stepping stone, so that they can match the privileged class. Such
Yeah.
that such as reservation, by giving them reservation or by reserving some seats for them, or for giving them some economic incentives.
Yeah.
Both are equally good. And what I'm confused at which one should be applied and which one is good. Because equality as we use in United States, it has worked so far very well. Even equity has worked very well to uplift some oppressed people such as Dalit. But the question is, who is oppressed and who is not oppressed? Everyone is oppressed in a certain way. And even if we look at history,
Mhm.
people like this Jains and Hindus were oppressed during Islamic rules.
Mhm.
Even Islamic people were oppressed during Jew rules,
Yeah.
uh, even by Christianity. So which one is oppressed and which one is not? And if absolute equality is necessary, because even if I apply absolute equality, the economically weaker sections, they will not stand a chance against the privileged one. They will go to good tuitions and good classes. So that is the problem with social theories. We cannot tell which one is right and which one should be applied. It is subjective for everyone, and it may be changing even inside the conscience of a person, which one he believes in.
Yeah, true.
There's no
It is. Yes, this is a good question. I actually did a video on discrimination and tried to work on the reserve quota and all of that. It is really hard to explain uh,
yes,
because I tried to do it. Some place it for me, according to me, I think in some places equality works better. And when I say some places, I'm not talking about the whole country. Maybe it's just one city, because it depends on which sort of people live in there. And in some places, equity will work better. You can't just have one shoe fit all. Just like every feet needs a different kind of shoes. Every
true,
city,
true.
every city or state might need different rules because of the people. Say, if in my city there is a lot of wealthy people, equality might work. But if there is a city like Mumbai where there is the wealthiest person in India versus there is the biggest slum in India, then over there maybe equity will work better. And I'm not a economic person, so I don't really fully understand. But this is just a very oversimplification of thing. Now applying it is another thing, which I'm sure some people who are way more intelligent than me can do. But to your question, yes, equity and equality are very uh, two different things. Both are good in their own ways. Both are bad if applied wrong.
Yes,
So that's what I'm saying. Every situation is different. Just an example that came to my mind. I know stealing is bad, right? So
yes,
if I steal some food from somebody's shop, that is bad. But what if I have children? I can't make money and I don't have anything but to keep my children alive. If I steal a bread or something from some shop, then am I really doing good? This comes under morality as well. Like I need
yes,
to, so good and bad. According to the shopkeeper, sure, it's bad because he's, losing stuff. But according to the person, well, government is not supporting in India. And when people compare our country with the United States, I'm saying I think it's a very bad comparison because United States have a lot of money. Our country in parts have a lot of money, but not everybody has a lot of money, right? And whatever happens in United States is just not applicable in India, right? So
right.
here in United States, everybody gets a little bit of money, or maybe they do. I don't know full all of the states and stuff. So there would be some people who would say, it doesn't happen. But assuming there is people who get some benefit if they are in the government, sorry, if they are in that state, then they don't have to steal, right? So people who have a lot of things, like people who's working in a person who's working in a bank, earns money, and he has sufficient money, but he still goes out and steals a bank. That is wrong. In that case, I can say that, stealing is wrong. But a person who's barely making any money and he's not getting help from anyone, he's not getting a job that he wants, um, and he still need to support the family, and some misfortune happen in the family. If he goes and steal enough just to feed the family, is it really wrong or right? So this
That
sort
is
of
a
thing.
subjective,
Sorry.
that is a subjective question, a subjective truth, which may vary from people to people, a
Exactly.
situation to situation. Yes,
Yes. So in that case, we just think about it and how we can make things better. That's why understanding why somebody is stealing, why somebody is murdering, there is a lot of things involved in that. So if a person who has brain problems or a mental health problems, if he goes around and hits somebody, is that a person's fault, or is it because he's mentally damaged and he or has some mental problems. I would like to take the word back, mentally damaged, because there are mental health issues, and which is a big thing. Physically we can see the issue, mentally we cannot. So a person with mental health condition, is that to be blamed or not? So as you said, it's subjective, but you have to,
Yes.
it's not easy. Human beings are complicated, and we have to think like that, and we have to work on the situation. It is a tiring job, but I ask people to be more skeptic and open-minded. You seem like an open-minded person, so it's great.
Well, thanks
Yeah, man.
for doing that.
Thank, yeah, thanks for your time. We've been talking for an hour, so I'm sure you've got a lot of things to do as well. What I'll do is I'll put this video on my YouTube channel. I can send you a link later on. I think I'll do it today or tomorrow. I don't really know, depending on how it is. Um,
The
and
recording stop.
I'll just stop the recording now. Thanks, guys, for listening to us, and thanks for that. And I just encourage everyone to let us think, and you can call me atheist.